Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the third part of the raid, the Gauntlet. Now, this part is probably the easiest part of the raid. You guys are going to have 4 pillars, represent all symbols of the raid. You got the sun, the axes, the beast, and then the chalice. Now, your goal here is to get 2 of your teammates. 2 of them are going to spawn in this little backside area where you see this like colored wall behind there, and that's technically called the Gauntlet part of it. And you're going to have 2 teammates that spawn in with these charges, and they have to run through, and they have to go all the way around the little outer circle. So 4 platforms that you have to shoot and help your teammate get through, and then once they get through to the final part, they can bring the 2 charges to the middle where you have to release 8 charges. So you're gonna have to do 4 rounds of this. Now, the first part, you guys are gonna have to defend these pillars. It doesn't matter which pillar, just make sure you defend them all, because if you leave any enemies on any of the pillars, when you guys do a full circle, you guys are eventually going to come back to the one you guys missed. There's going to be a couple rounds of enemies, not very difficult. I can do it solo. Some people choose to have 2 people with them just to make sure to kill the centurions. Make sure to use your heavy on these guys, as they do spawn heavy. Now, this part, you're going to have 2 people following around one of the runners. So you're going to have all 6 involved. 2 people following the runner on this side, 2 people following the runner on the other side. And your goal is, the guy on the inside, I can't show you because I didn't do the running, is he's going to see 3 rows of circles, 3 in the top, 3 in the middle, 3 in the bottom. And he's going to see a red circle and 1 in the 9. Whatever he calls, the red circle is either going to be top, middle, or bottom. If he calls top, the 2 of you that are following him around need to shoot the other 2. So if he calls top, you need to shoot the bottom and the middle. If he calls middle, you need to shoot top and bottom. If he calls bottom, you need to shoot top and mid. And the reason you want to do 2 is you got to kind of shoot them simultaneously and shoot them at the same time for them to turn green like they are, so he can get through. Now, another thing to keep in mind, after you guys turn the triangles green, make sure you have the one guy who's behind me right now standing on the pillar, for him to be able to figure out which circle is red, because that's the only way it shows. And then the other guy, which is me, killing the scion that spawns behind. So after your second guy runs over to the next pillar, you're staying behind to kill the scion that spawns underneath the green triangles. Now, that's probably the most important part, because the scion will kill your entire team if you don't kill him quick enough. You also, if you don't get to him in time to melee him, he's going to spawn behind on the pillar that your guy was standing on. So if you miss him the first time, he's going to spawn again without you guys realizing it and wipe your team. This happens on both sides. The scion will spawn, and then it's basically a rinse and repeat. You're going to have to do this 4 times. Once you guys perfect down your communications, this should be an easy part. We had trouble trying to run one person trying to shoot both triangles, as we weren't shooting them quick enough, or you'd shoot the wrong one depending on what gun you were using. I found the pulse rifle or a scout rifle would probably be best for this part. Once you guys get down the first run, it gets a little easier, but inside on the outer circle, it gets a little harder. There's more shit to jump over. Also, when you're standing on the pillar to allow your teammate to get through, when that guy's shooting at his triangle, the pillar will start kind of bobbing up and down to make it a little harder, so you accidentally shoot the wrong one. Now, it isn't a big deal if you mess up and hit the triangle and make them red, because you get a kind of like a redo. You get, I think it's 2 chances you can mess up and then redo again, but as long as you get all 4 of the charges from each person in, you guys should be fine. If you mess up a 3rd time, just go ahead and wipe on your team. Just make sure you guys are accurate, and make sure you have guys who kind of know what they're doing in the middle, because if they jump through the wrong circle, it can screw you guys over. There's a little thing he's supposed to be grabbing as he's going through the right circle that allows him to keep running, and again, keep contact with the scions. Make sure you kill those guys, because they will wipe you pretty quick. It's usually within 5 seconds. If you're not noticing it, you'll notice that it says psionic detection, I think destroyed, and then it'll just wipe out your team. So that's the gist of this part of the raid. Once you guys get to the end, you guys are all going to be spawned into the outer circle. So all 6 of you guys will be running, and your goal is to get as many as the orbs as possible. I think you need to have 4 teammates survive to get to the middle, so if 2 of you guys die when you guys are running on the outside, not a big deal. Once you guys get 4 people through the gauntlet, you guys don't need to shoot the triangles, because you guys are all going to be on the outside circle, which you guys will see at the end of the video. Once you guys make it through, 4 people run to the middle and then put their charges in there, and that is it for the gauntlet. You guys get your drain key, and then that's that. So I'm going to let this video play, because again, there's not really much else I need to tell you guys about this part. Just make sure you have the right people shooting at the triangles and shoot the right triangles. Again, it's the opposite of what he calls, so if he calls 1, you shoot the other 2. and just make sure you designate someone to shoot the top one. So if he calls top, I was shooting the top one, so I'd have to shoot middle, and then the other guy who was with me was shooting bottom. That way everything kind of stayed smooth and we didn't have any issues there with our communications. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully this helped you guys out if you guys were stuck. I know figuring this part out blind, it was a little hard. We actually had to have a little help on this part, just because we didn't think to shoot the opposite one. So a little bit of a weird part of the raid, but again, the easiest part of the raid. So this shouldn't take you longer than an hour, even after watching a guide. This should be relatively quick. So I'll see you guys in the next one. The last one is going to be Callus boss fight. Probably just about as hard as a War Beast, especially just you need a really good team to do this part. So stay tuned for that video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.